Parson and Williams say COVID-19 is here to stay and the road to recovery will be a long one. That means access to testing will be critical. During an exclusive conversation, KRCG 13's Kyrian Lee spoke with Williams about where testing in Missouri stands.
Yes, Kermit, the number of tests and how we're doing them in the state is evolving. Dr. Williams says from a testing standpoint, we're right on track. March 7th, 2020 marks the day the state saw its first positive case of COVID-19.
I'll probably never forget it in St. Louis County. And very early on, we decided we had been working since January 27th.
To date, the number of positive cases in the state surpasses 9,000 out of more than 100,000 Missourians who have been tested. Within 2 weeks of the first case, approximately 1,000 COVID-19 tests could be performed each day between state and private labs. Now, that's changed drastically with access to testing more readily available.
And we thought that testing was incredibly important to identify people, to isolate them, and also to help us with our modeling and our policy. So we've gone from that to the ability now to do 60,000 tests a week throughout Missouri in 151 mobile testing sites.
The number of tests performed daily varies widely. Dr. Williams says labs performed the most tests during the height of the infectious period between April 6th and 7th, and the approach to testing is changing.
We've moved to a different strategy called boxed-in comprehensive testing, where we go into facilities, whether they're prisons or meatpacking plants or long-term care facilities, and test everybody. Asymptomatic people, symptomatic people, staff, patients.
There are at least 23 consistent testing sites spread throughout mid-Missouri. Some have strict testing criteria, while others do not. There are 5 testing sites in Boone County.
As has been shown nationally and in the state, they've ramped up the availability of testing, and we're taking advantage of that.
And recently, a partnership between the hospitals and health department created temporary mobile testing for people who live in rural areas of Boone County. In Cole County, there are 2 testing sites, and those testing numbers are decreasing.
Every week we're scaling back on hours and on the length of times that it's open, and really from a community perspective, that's a real positive sign to the community. That means we're doing fewer and fewer tests.
The way of testing continues to evolve, from the familiar nasal swab test to serological or antibody testing, which involves the prick of a finger to draw blood.
We'll have the capability. We have one of the 12 FDA-approved tests here in Missouri at our state lab. We'll be able to do about 1,500 a day. There are going to be many commercial labs, hospitals and universities and probably even businesses doing those tests. And so we hope our mobile testing sites may be a platform to increase access, because a test doesn't do you any good if you can't get to it.
As the fight continues, testing will continue to expand and increase for people in the state.
From a testing standpoint, we were committed very early to it, as the governor said. We stuck to it, and I think it's served Missouri very well.
Homebound people who have done some spring cleaning and have a lot of stuff to donate. KRCG 13's Ashley Eddy joins us live from the Jefferson City Goodwill location.
Workers tell me donations are starting to ramp right back up again. Chris Fisher, a lead associate, says they are seeing up to around 200 donations a day. But they are taking some precautions. He says those with donations can drive up to drop-off locations of open stores and set donations inside boxes that are set up outside. From there, the boxes will be placed in a truck where they will be isolated for 72 hours before being handled and sold. Fisher says it's been good seeing so many people come out.
We had a lady today said she's been holding on for about 6 months, a little bit before. And so we have a lot of people, cleaning out their closets. They've had a lot of free time, and we appreciate them bringing it to us.
The day before Mother's Day, 5 people, including a woman and 2 children from Mexico, Missouri, were killed in a St. Louis car crash. KRCG 13's Gladys Bautista today spoke with that woman's sister. Gladys had to be an emotional interview.
As you can imagine, Erin Monroe says that she's heartbroken and numb after losing her little sister, her niece, and her nephew in a car crash on Saturday in St. Louis. She says that the other 2 men who died were also people that she considered family. And to add on to all of that, just 3 weeks ago, she says that this loss comes after she laid her older brother to rest.
In just 3 weeks, Erin Monroe went from being the middle child in her family to an only child.
You never would think that something like this would happen to your family.
After burying her older brother, who passed away from cerebral palsy on April 20th, on Saturday, the unthinkable happened one day before Mother's Day when Monroe says her sister, 22-year-old Christy Monroe, went to St. Louis to spend time with the father of her children and his family.
I never knew that I was saying my last goodbyes to them when they left Columbia.
Saturday afternoon, Christy Monroe was in a car along with her 1-year-old son, Trayvon Nelson, and infant daughter, Kayana Nelson, the father of her children, 22-year-old Trayvon Nelson, and his 16-year-old brother, Samuel Nelson, when crash investigators say it veered off of this road in North St. Louis County. A crash report says Nelson, who was driving, overcorrected, sending the car into oncoming traffic where it was hit by a van, causing it to flip over. Authorities say all 5 people in the car were pronounced dead at the scene.
It literally feels like a piece of me was taken with them.
She says Christy Monroe was a loving daughter, friend, sister, and most importantly, a devoted mother to her children, both under the age of 2, who also passed away in the crash.
Which is, I guess, why she had to take them with her. Because she knew that no one was going to take care of them as good as she would.
Grief-stricken with a pain that's indescribable, the loss of her family leaving a lasting effect on Erin, who is a mother herself, as she says another unexpected goodbye.
I never want to celebrate Mother's Day again. It was probably one of the worst days of my life.
Now, the driver of that van was taken to an area hospital where he's in serious condition, according to a crash report. The family has set up a GoFundMe page to help them with funeral expenses as they prepare to lay 5 people to rest.